So I'm here in this time of chaos, cataclysms and confusion to help people come back to the oneness within themselves, each other and the planet. And here's another flickering flame for you. So probably much better than looking at my face at 3 o'clock in the morning. I do like staying up late because at this time the veil seems to be thinner, everything's quieter, the energy is more calm, and the consciousness collective is sleeping, mainly around where I live anyway, in this hemisphere. So it's quite good to be able to connect at this time. And what I'm talking about, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, is the spiritual realm. So oneness means being in oneness with all there is, which is not just the things that we see, but the things that we don't see as well. I thought I would come on and do a video about the multidimensional experiences of those people or spirits or souls or entities or consciousnesses, whatever you want to call us, that have come here at this time to help the collective consciousness of humanity understand about multidimensional experiences and the fact that they are an infinite being of light and that they cannot die if they connect back to the mainframe, which is their soul home. So whether that sounds a little bit scary to you, I don't know. There's a lot of people in the collective at the moment in fear and panic because what's happening right now on the 5th of January has come along so quickly that I think even the awakened community going through Ascension, which means a process of coming back to the oneness within their own soul, or the oneness with God or Source, I think even we have been caught off guard because I thought for sure that we had longer than this. So basically what I'm talking about is when we're born into this life, we go through a veil of forgetfulness and we wake up as a baby and we only believe what we see, hear, taste, touch and smell. These are our 5 senses. Now that's not true for every single person because some children have a 6th sense or many more senses. In fact, ESP, we call it, don't we? Extrasensory perception, or clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance. I'm sure there's another one. Anyway, the point is some children come into this life thinking that they can move things with their eyes, or that they can fly, or that they're bionic, or that they have superpowers, because that's what they were used to before they came on the earth. Okay. Some children can talk to plants and animals and get a response. Now that might sound strange to somebody who has no soul or somebody who's been locked down for a long time and forgets that they're a multidimensional being of light. But if you think that's strange and it's not resonating with you, you can always turn off, because this video and my channel is for people who are awakening to their spiritual insight or who are already awakened. Some of my videos are specifically for the ascending people and others are for people who are just waking up. I'm sure, I trust the universe and divine timing enough to know that people see the video at the right time, and if they resonate with it, they'll watch it, and if they don't, they will turn off. Right. So spirit is what it's all about. Basically, we are multidimensional beings of light. Light is all we are. Albert Einstein said we're 99.9% empty space. So that means we are just energy. And Tesla said we are energy, frequency and vibration, which means we are only light and sound. In fact, we are the rays of the rainbow. We are light. And that's what so many sages, mystics and prophets have said, who are connected to Source and God in the time of this era. So we are facing now the 6th mass extinction of humanity. If you don't know that, then you are living on another planet, or you've got your head in the sand. Because we have things going on in the earth now, as I said, chaos, cataclysms and confusion, and protests about the mass extinction rebellion, etc., right? And I made a joke about that at the beginning, saying, those dinosaurs suits that people wear, well, maybe we should all dress up in a bunch of those and go out and do the extinction rebellion, because how did the dinosaurs feel, It's not like these things are preventable. You can't stop these things. If they're going to happen, they're going to happen. What we have to do is look beyond what we see. That's what we're required to do at these times. And I don't think even half of the awakened community are doing that. There's so many people clinging on, thinking that this earth is going to change into the new earth, just morph into it. And maybe there's such a big level of fear around death. And the problem is that the Western world have made us so fearful of death, like it's something to fear. But, indigenous groups always know that people go round and round in cycles. This is just a Western thing. And the reason that we've been educated this way is so that the powers that be have complete control over us, and they can control us through fear. Fear of death means that we buy into all their pharmaceuticals, and you know how much money they make from the pharmaceuticals company. If not, then you can just do some research on that, big pharma. And you'll see that as well as smoking and alcohol and gambling, it's one of the things that they make the most money off of. So first of all, they kill us off or make us ill through all these bad lifestyles. Sitting in front of a computer all day, for example, that's no good for our health. Drinking fizzy drinks with sugar and caffeine in, that's no good for our health. Poisons like E-numbers, they're no good for our health. All of these things that they've given us, and we've just taken, like, without a brain, we've just accepted as the norm, and actually they've just tried to poison us off. And I think there's a massive awakening going on now, where people are realising the truth, that we've been lied to all this time. And now we're facing this extinction. Well, good, I say, because do you know what? People are looking at it in the wrong perspective. If there is a right and a wrong, I would say that this is a perspective of fear. And one of the things that we do know is that anyone knows, not just an awakened person, but anybody knows, that love and faith have to take precedent over fear. Because love is expansion. Love is the attraction. It is the magnet that pulls us forward. And fear closes us down and constricts us, and it makes us feel like we're in panic mode. Now, if you step straight into courage, instead of faffing around and thinking, oh, well, what is it I'm afraid of? What am I sad about? And crying and going into grief. If you just look at what do I want? What is there to do? What is the gift in this? Then you would realise what the gift is. And if you did some spiritual seeking, you know what the gift is in this. The gift is that we recognise that this is the end of time. Time being an illusion. Anybody who is into sci-fi knows this. Time is an illusion. It's an illusion. It's a paradox. This whole era, this whole third dimensional matrix is not real. It's an illusion. It's basically a virtual reality simulation. And this holographic reality that we see, hear, taste, touch and smell is merely a perception of our consciousness. The truth is we are consciousness, and if you close your eyes, go into your body, close off your mind or your thoughts, close off your feelings, close off your senses, you'll still be there. And if you go into some kind of trance, then you will find that not only are you there, but you actually have fantastic spiritual experiences. Because there is an inner being, an inner mind, a one that is deep within you, within your conscious field, within your consciousness, and it's called the superconscious, not the subconscious. That's below your consciousness. So that's the shadow that hangs around under your consciousness, which carries all your beliefs and your limiting beliefs about yourself, but also how to function in the world, things like that, things that you just do subconsciously. It's like your programming. But your superconscious is unlimited potential, and it's all truths. And that's basically what all the great masters will ever tell you, is that you have basically manna or bread of heaven or whatever you want to call it. And that is your intuition, your information that comes from the divine, the infinite knowledge, the infinite intelligence that will teach you all things if you meditate. And a lot of people have been meditating and reaching enlightenment because we've been awoken by the 1111 gateway, which shows us all things. And we've been awoken because we've done this before and we've been here many times and supposed to lead and teach at this time. Bearing in mind what's happening, and it's all happening so quickly, I am absolutely not quite sure, to be honest, whether we're supposed to teach here or on the new earth. I have a feeling we're being prepared to teach on the new earth. But if anyone's watching this in fear and panic and not quite sure what's going on, you're supposed to watch this at this time and you're supposed to pick up this information. Not everybody will be forced into taking the RFID chip in the vaccine or vax or whatever you want to call it. Because they will be awake and aware, but they're not quite sure how to spiritually ascend. If you are here wondering about multidimensional experiences and wondering how to ascend, that is basically what I was going to briefly talk about. So in my spiritual awakening, I was gifted a book called The Keys of Enoch. And that was a spiritual gift from someone who told me that he was given it to give to the young Christ. And we're all anointed and sainted. Well, I am. I don't know about everybody else because we all come from different mansions. But different places, different homes. Because my father's house has many mansions, right? But when I was woken up, spiritually woken up, I met with Jehovah and he gave me a book and he told me to read it. And I told him, because I thought it was his Bible, this Bible, and I said, but it's corrupt. And he said, read it. And so, obviously, because I'm a rebel, I didn't. But then I had information to read the Torah, so that's why I bought the Jewish Bible. And I resonate very much with the Old Testament because I think I say I think, and this is not coming from ego. I have had past life experiences as an Old Testament prophet. And so what, we've all come here many times, played many games as many different people, because that is part of the simulation, it's virtual reality. This is what I've found, right? You can say to me, oh, that can't be right, whatever. Use your own intuition, resonate with what I say or don't, but it's fine. I'm just sharing my experiences with you, what I've learned and what I know. I'm saying that this is what I know from my experience, from my teachings, from my intuition, from my guidance outside the matrix, which is Jesus and Jehovah and Archangel Michael. And this is what they've taught me. So, as I said, I was gifted this book, which I thought was much more interesting than reading the Bible. But when Jesus speaks to me, he does give me Bible passages. This book, Keys of Enoch, actually says, in the days that Adonai, which is God, summons you, testify to the nations of the earth, so that the wisdom of the earth may be broken and its three-dimensional consciousness reigns no more in your spirit. So what are they talking about there? Obviously, what they're talking about is the fact that we live in a three-dimensional paradigm now, where people believe that all there is the matter which they see around them. But that's not the truth. I'm living in a fifth dimensional gravitational field, as are so many of my friends. So yeah, the awakened community basically live in a fifth dimensional gravitational field, where they have gone through a process of changing beliefs, well, getting rid of any limiting beliefs, and clearing out any karma, which is any dark energy and any attachments or entanglements to anything in this material realm, so that we completely leave all that behind and know that we're just like will-o'-the-wisp. We're literally just like spirit here. And everything that is outside of us is actually inside of us. So that we know that when we pass through this realm, we take everything with us, because it's like the game tidies up, shuts down, and it comes with us, that's the game. Everything outside of us is a projection of ourselves. We're just really running in our own little universal bubble, and occasionally we will connect with other avatars who are also playing the game at the same time as us. And we come into each other's, we are apparitions, I've been told, and we come into each other's space. The reason why I'm sharing this information, which is obviously personal to me, because this is what I've been told, is because we're all parts of the puzzle, and we have to start putting all our information together in order to create a masterpiece or an idea of the big picture. Right, and so these books help in that this was given to a guy called Dr. J. Hurtak. Was it JJ? Can't remember his name. Anyway, bear with me. So yeah, it's JJ Hurtak, isn't it? Hang on, one moment. Yes, JJ Hurtak. Yes, there you go. So he wrote this book a long time ago. And he had an amazing experience where Metatron took him into the spirit, and he downloaded him all of this information. Well, that's not difficult, because you get given scrolls, and yeah, you're supposed to tap into that information and then do automatic writing, and it all comes out if you are not lazy. Yeah, so what am I looking at here? So I'm looking at also sacred language, right? So there are other ways of unlocking. So some people do automatic writing, that maybe they're a multidimensional spiritual gift. Some people do light language. It says here, the mouths of the initiates to receive the initial impulse to speak the sacred language, for not only through the Christos can the faithful understand the anointing of the revealed eternity, through the baptism into the light, which is eternal. And there you go. It says here, the sacred language that proceeded from the Father is used once again by the tongue of man. So man was able to speak the language of the Father. And that is light language. And that is known in the Bible as speaking in tongues. And that is a technology that we can use to clear our chakras, or any dark energy that comes up, is to clear any evil or darkness from our body, any attachments or entanglements that we've had with any lower energies or entities, and also to connect with spirit on a pure basis. So it's like a telephone line, a connection to God, essentially. And so it also is very powerful for healing and for speaking light into somebody else's life. So we can use that as a spiritual gift with our intention behind it to actually create white magic, if you like, because this planet is run on black magic at the moment. And the reason we're here is to change things, is to come in and destroy the third dimensional paradigm. Show people that we are multidimensional beings having a physical experience. This is all an illusion. It's a virtual reality, and it's temporary. And we do go on after this in infinity. and that you can unlock your spiritual gifts, which is clairvoyance, as I say, where you can see into the future, you can see past lives. It's very interesting and exciting. And also you can have telepathy, and you can do telekinesis, which is, as I said, moving things with just thoughts. And you can change matter, and you can create miracles, you can create rainbows, you can stop the rain. I have done this, and I also have changed things in a 5th dimensional world. Yeah, in 5th dimensional world, you can just do that. You go into vision space and you can think of something, and then it happens in real life. Don't ask me how it works. I just know that there's something called the Morphogenic Field, and morph just literally means to change. And it is a place of morphogenesis, which is just to creation. But also you can destroy things there too. So it's the place of an imagination where everything is destroyed and created and protected. So basically it's the place of God. Christ consciousness starts in the 5th dimensional realm, and we are, as I said, in the 3rd. So I believe the 4th is the dark side. So you have to go through all your fears and darkness before you get to the 5th. But what we're doing as Ascension teachers is providing a rainbow bridge so that you can go straight from the 3rd to the 5th, because you take on the Holy Spirit of Christ and you have faith and believe. You don't have to go through the chaos, cataclysms and confusion if you have faith and belief that, like Jesus said, anyone who believes will not perish, right? So then you will be doing that jump from the 3D to the 5D without going through all the darkness of the transformation. And when we get to 5D, you will be able to have a wonderful time, because there's no evil in 5th dimensional Earth. And now that might sound a bit strange. Of course, who knows what that's going to really look like, except I've been there and I've seen it and it looks amazing. Because we get taken to different realms in vision space. Like Jesus showed me the Golden City, and he showed me the New Earth. He hasn't showed me anything else. Other Ascension teachers, masters, whatever you want to call us, 144,000, have been given information about other realms. And it depends on where your spiritual home is and what you resonate with. And we all go back to the right one for us. So, yeah, it's interesting that there are so many from so many different places. And as we've been going through this awakening, it's been quite confusing for us as we've been awakening, because, well, we're trying to figure out what the truth is. And Jesus told me that everything is truth. And he said, you know, it just depends on whether you enter the narrow gate. And the narrow gate is about putting everything under your feet, even suffering and death. And all Ascension teachers are being encouraged to do that, because we're being encouraged to drop all our darkness, overcome our fears, eradicate our darkness. So look at our wounds and love it better. So we're literally eradicating the dark and filling it with light. Now, a lot of people would say, oh no, we integrate the dark. But yeah, you say, hello, I recognize you, fear. Thanks for being there. Thanks for the message. I accept it, I acknowledge it. But actually, I'm going to choose something else now. Thanks very much. You can move, please, if you don't mind. I mean, that is eradicating, isn't it? Because, all right, you're not pushing it away in resistance, saying, no, fear, I don't want you today. I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you. It's more like, yes, I see you. I understand you're there. I know why you're there. Thanks for giving me the message. Now I'm doing it a different way. I don't need you anymore, but thanks anyway. You know, that kind of thing. So, yes, we're eradicating the dark, becoming full beam light, and using our spiritual gifts, because unless we're on full power, we haven't got the courage and the strength to stand up in front of other people and say exactly what the truth is. You know, our truth. And that's what this is about. Each of us have been given a seed and a scroll, and information that we need to share at this time. About one, that, you know, we're multidimensional beings in a physical body. It's like an avatar, and that avatar will drop or fall, and we will, like Will-o'-the-Wisp, come out of the body and go into another avatar in another dimension. And it really depends on how high your soul is vibrating, or how fast is vibrating at how high a frequency, as to where you go, which platform you go onto. I see it like a scale, from level 0, level 15, perhaps. So where would you reside, you know? Where do you resonate? And so this is, I'm just sharing with you humbly my experience and what I believe we are here to do. Well, personally anyway, this is what I'm here to do. So multidimensional travel is interesting. We're supposed to do it regularly. We're supposed to go into meditation every day, where Jesus said, let thy eye be single and thy body be full of light. That's the whole thing about getting oil from the 2 olives, which are something to do with the brain, which gives the oil, which is the Christos, which is what has been activated in us, which causes our ascension and us to be able to have these spiritual experiences. Yes, and so that's to do with the pineal gland and yeah, getting that whole energy system to work. It's to do with the chakras, it's to do with the kundalini, it's to do with the whole energy system. And that's what needs to be awakened in people in order to form their body of light. So it's interesting, isn't it, how this is going to work, and what these RFID chips are for. Because I know that I'm not taking one of those back chips because I've been told not to. But that might be because I'm already ascended and I'm already one of God's own. I have been told that basically it disconnects souls from the source. But what has shocked me is the speed and the stealth at which it's being brought in. And I don't think the Ascended Masters are ready to share this information about Ascension, let alone have even figured out what the RFID chip is. I mean, I know it's the mark of the beast because it's patented at 666. I've looked, I mean, I was shown this a couple of years ago, that it's to do with the extremely low frequency signals that come from the 4G and the 5G, and then we'll have 6G and 7G, and it will kill all the bees and the whales and the birds and all of this, because because it's a signal, it's a frequency, and everything is vibration and frequency. And we run humans run, all life form runs at a certain frequency. So if you want to shut down the world, you basically stick on an extremely low frequency. It's a weapon, and it will annihilate everything. It will exterminate everything, and that's what's happening. But what we have to remember is to ascend that thought. And so many Ascension teachers are thinking that, no, we're just bringing in we're just fighting the darkness. This isn't dark. It's not dark. Exterminating the 3rd dimensional platform is not dark at all. What we're doing is liberating our soul out of our avatar body on this 3rd dimensional heavy platform. And we are lifting and giving us free flight and freedom from this matrix, this illusion, this prison planet that we've been shut down on for so long. And Jesus is so happy about this. He is so happy, if you understood the truth of what's happening, you had your eyes fixed on heaven instead of focused on the world, then you would understand that this is an illusion, and it's a beast system, and it's dark, and it's slavery, and it's suffering, and it's dark. And really, you know, all we're doing is hanging around here like the victim of an abusive partner, waiting for the next punch in the gut to see whether this one will take us into hospital, or will it finally kill us? Because, you know, we are captives here, like Stockholm syndrome. We are so tied to our captors that we would believe that they're caring for us and that we're safe and secure here, but we're not. This realm has never been like that. Okay, you might have had experiences where you felt loved and secure and safe. Wonderful. But how long does it take before that person or that situation or that circumstance turns on you, and, you know, it becomes uncomfortable and you have to move away from it because everything turns? Well, that's inevitable because we're human and we have this underlying third dimensional program running, which is a slavery template or a Jezebel template or a suffering and death template. And therefore, nothing in this third dimensional template is ever going to be paradise. You could say, oh yes, we're living heaven on earth. But really, you know, again, that's a temporary thing. And you might be relying on addictions, on alcohol, on money, on materialism, on power over others, on gambling, on food addiction, on all sorts of things, drugs. You might be, or even fame, you know, whatever it is. But it's certainly not heaven, because what heaven is getting rid of all things of materialistic nature, all things of fleshly nature. It's getting rid of the idea that we have to fight for what we want. And it is allowing, it is being, it is flowing, it is airy, you know, it is like, oh, it's just so liberating and free. And yeah, free flow. It's just so peaceful and magnetic and high vibrational. It's like when you go to a tropical island. It's like that. It's like perfect humidity and temperature. It's the ability to manifest and to create things very, very quickly, and also to destroy things quickly too. So it's like a playground, as like Morph, you know, like, I don't know if you ever saw that. I know people are watching from all over the place, but, you know, Morph was a little plasticine character who his creator, his name was Tony something or other. He used to make Morph into different facial expressions, and he was a funny little guy, and he had a friend called Chad, and they used to play and mess about and do silly things, and it was funny to watch and entertaining, you know, before this age of technology and bullshit, dare I say it. But yeah, it was simple, and that's exactly how Morphogenic Field works. It's creating, and so that's what a lot of people want to do. I think their soul wants to get back to that place of creation, instead of being told what to do like a robot, instead of being forced to go to work in an environment that is unhealthy, unproductive, makes you feel like shit, is soulless, basically. Well, people who stay in this realm and take this chip, unfortunately, dare I say it, are going to have their soul disconnected from the mainframe, because they're not awake and not understanding the truth of where we are at the moment. Now, I did get the word reversal from Jesus, so I haven't really asked him very much about that, but gosh, maybe I should let him come through now. Because here I am speaking from myself about all things that I have learned, trying to help people consciousnesses expand a little bit, only by listening to my experience. I'm not saying that I'm right and I've got the whole truth. Everyone has their own truth, and I always encourage people to go within to find their own truth. But I think it's really important that we share our information so that we can put all the pieces of the puzzle together to make one big piece, and or the whole, and also to help people who don't really understand about it, and to try and help them in their own search and seeking experience, to wake up to the things that are going on in the awakened community. So let's see. Yeah, so maybe I should. Okay, I will. That's a yawn. Yawn clears the spirits. I will bring through the Christ. And I will just yeah, I'll just tell you basically what happens. So if you are a third dimensional being, and you have not ascended into your higher consciousness, it says in this book, because I can't see people waking up at the moment until something major happens. And really, we all wake up at exactly the right time, and perfect timing, and everything happens in divine timing. And, you know, you must trust that. You mustn't worry. You must trust. I'm trying to tell you these things because I want people to understand that they can have faith in something bigger than themselves, that they know that there is something beyond the word death, which is, I'll put in inverted commas because there's no such thing, if you die a natural death, because God is, as I said, the protector, the creator, and the destroyer, and that goes in a cycle of life. And if you look at all trees and plants, and you know, they all go in a cycle of life, of birth, life, death, rebirth, and that's the cycle of life. And so do humans. All consciousnesses do that. So it says here that for those in the third chakra, on down, who love but do not have divine love, will take place, their awakening will take place when the whole biochemical shell of the earth changes and the physical shell is reset. So there's going to be some kind of biological change on the earth, and don't worry about it. You know, it's all quite technical, this book, but I'm just saying that it will happen and you don't need to worry. So if you see people talking about spiritual ascension and you're a bit concerned about it, you don't quite know what that's about, you don't need to know until you're ready. And when you're ready, things will just start happening. You know, people start seeking and doing things before their time. They can go into confusion. Yeah, what it says here about man was prepared for the physical landing of a delegation of interplanetary beings who explained how man violated the cosmic law and was in need of a redefinition of life. So they're talking about aliens, basically what we would call aliens, but we call interdimensional beings. They stay for a short period of time and then they go. Okay, just to let you know, that's going to be happening soon. So it says here, the delegation of interplanetary beings remained upon the earth for only a short period of time and left millions upon millions who either marvelled at the wonder of other worlds of intelligence or became resentful and chaotic because of the proclaimed return of Michael and Christ. And that's what's happening. Basically, Christ, Jesus, and Archangel Michael will come back to the earth again when it is reset. And they will come back with their new population of people. And the righteous ones who've gone through the ascension process, and it is a matter of qualifying, will be kings and queens of that earth. And everyone will be a sovereign being and live in a equal structure where everyone is loved and respected and honoured, and it would be more tribal. and more loving, you know. It's not going to be like this place where there's a top-down hierarchy and we're told what to do by the elites, and basically they suck the energy from us, and like parasites and leeches and vampires. This very narcissistic program on the third dimensional program, and a lot of people have been moving away from the third dimensional template at this time. So don't worry when the aliens land on the planet. You probably will. I mean, gosh, I don't know if what that's going to bring or what's going to happen at that time. It depends on the consciousness of the collective, you know. If they go into fear and they're really worried about it, then there might be an uprising and chaos. But if they're calm and peaceful about it, because all the interdimensional beings are there to help us, then that will be good. Oh gosh, there is a part in here that does say, and I'm not going to, you know, the other thing is it depends on where we're vibrating. So if your vibration, your frequency is high, and you feel a lot of love within you because you've tried to be a good person, have good thoughts, speak good words, do good actions, and have good feelings. And if you do a spiritual search and you're really seeking to make things better for yourself, others, and the planet, then that's a good thing, and the interdimensional beings will reflect that. But if people are still going around very prideful, very angry, very attacking everybody else, then that's what they will get back, because that's karma, you know. This is a divine mirror that works in this universe, and we basically get what we give. And so, you know, people in the material world will find that if they go to work and they're very grumpy and miserable, they will be working with grumpy and miserable people. If they are very happy and cheerful, they'll be with happy and cheerful people. So, you know, and the grumpy and miserable people won't like it, so they'll stay away from them. And these two polarities naturally separating at this time. But what they might find is that the dark side, alien agenda, you know, may be used to do a kind of cleanup operation, so that the dark agenda, or the soulless beings on this planet, will be actually, you know, what shall I say, tormented, I suppose, by their own darkness, which is the way of the world. I mean, that's karma. That's you know, that what we give out, we receive back. I hope I'm being loving in this video. I really do. I'm trying to put my information out as it comes to me, and I'm not going to block or stop myself anymore, because, you know, Holy Spirit moves through me and wants me to share all this information, and I've stopped myself from sharing it for a long time because I worry about the collective and how they're going to react and respond to this information. But I think it's time. I can't believe how quickly this is all happening. And of course, people will go into shock and fear, you know. But what my point is, do not fear. That's my point. If you're a good person and you're loving, this is brilliant news. You are being liberated from the dark slavery matrix, and you and your family are being freed. You know, there are children in my family who have been told, do not fear. You are safe by these beings of light. And people who aren't awake and aware of it yet will be. So, you know, we don't have to worry about when that happens. We don't have to worry, because they love us. You know, we have divine guides. Each of us comes here with an angel, and they love us so much. And they see us having difficulty here on this plane and in this paradigm. And they see us struggling, and they cry, you know, their soul cries for us because it's so difficult and so dark. But we have come here to learn these lessons of the dark and the separation from God, so that we can come back to the light, and that we can take all that experience with us. And not everyone's going to go back to the light at this time, and that's all right. But it's just a lesson, that's all it is. And God is consciousness, and it's constantly learning lessons about light and dark and goodness and evil. And that's pretty much the name of the game, Snakes and Ladders, or a game of chess with your black and white players, you know. It's the light and the dark forces that create the expansion, and that brings us back to the oneness of God, of source, of that protective, all-loving nature that just wants us to know that don't worry, you're only energy and it's just a game. So that's my information. It's pretty expansive because I come from the 12th dimension, which means that, you know, when you talk, like I said, we all have parts of the puzzle. We all come from different mansion houses. We've all been told different things, but I have an overarching perspective of something that not many Ascension teachers are talking about, and that is the afterlife. What happens when we move into those higher realms? What happens when the bullies of this narcissistic system come down hard on people and really squash them to say, you know, take this vax or we're going to, you know, annihilate you. Don't be afraid. Do not fear. Your kingdom draws nigh. Your kingdom of love and light, of absolute bliss and heaven. You know, any of those who believe in me will not perish. That's what the Christ says. And any person who's anointed by God, a saint, has been anointed, and they are Christed, and they speak the Christ's words. And it's Christ basically says, I am your salvation. I am your saving grace. Do not fall for the lies of the enemy. Enemy speaks darkness over your life and death to your soul, whereas the Christ speaks light and love and warmth and joy and homecoming, and wants you to remember that you are very loved and that you are very real in the higher realms, but right down here you are dead. In this virtual reality right now, you are already dead, running a program of virtual reality in a matrix that is a slavery system. So if you can imagine that, you know, with the technology and the way it's moving forward today, we have already done this. We've gone forward. We had our RFID chips. We were given those. They were put into the head and the hand, gone into the body. We've all been changed into cyborgs and gone into this virtual reality game. And then we forgot we were in it. And our bodies died and we became dead. But you know what? Jesus is going to resurrect us with new bodies. New bodies. We already have bodies of light. That's a truth because we are light. We are light and sound. We are rays of the rainbow. But Jesus is going to, and he has promised us, Christ, the cosmic Christ, or Jesus, whatever you want to say, has promised us these new bodies of light, these amazing bodies. I've been shown my body in the new earth and I look beautiful. I have long blonde curly hair and it's just how I've always wanted to look, you know. And I'm about, I don't know, 28. I'm just like in my most magnificent state. And my body is like a yogi and I'm just fit and beautiful. And that's how I've chosen to look, because we can choose our avatar bodies. And Jesus has promised us this. And we can choose our new earth experience. And don't worry, because that's done on a soul level. The only reason I know what I'm going to look like is because I've gone to my higher self or my higher soul or my Christed soul, and I've chosen it. I've chosen it. And I've done that experience consciously. But your soul will have done it for you in a super conscious state. So you must not worry, because your soul is running the show. You are not running the show. Your mental mind is not running the show. Your heart is not running the show. You are a soul. You are a physical being here, but your spirit lives on a higher dimensional realm. And your spirit is basically projected into this realm as a virtual reality, as an avatar. Again, you chose this experience so that you could learn the lessons in this life. And if you're watching this video, then you've chosen to wake up at this time and watch this video about spiritual ascension and about spiritual gifts and about how we are multidimensional beings living a physical experience on a platform that is been kept in lockdown, in quarantine for a very, very, very long time. And now we're being freed from that matrix. So I would say, don't step back into the future or into the past, which is a game within a game, like the film Inception. Don't take that RFID chip and free yourself, liberate yourself from this low density matrix. Even if it means that when the terrorists, want to, threaten us with, well, it's chip or death. So what? This is where you've got to step into your courage. We are not mice here. We are lions. Listen, and you can step into strength and courage at any time you want to. It's a choice. We are infinite possibility. It's a choice. In the wars, the First World War and the Second World War, these people were brave and courageous. They stepped up to the mark because they knew that they did this for the purposes of the whole. And that's what we're doing. We are consciousness. We are one consciousness going through this shift together, holding hands and walking into the light. And we all have to be brave for one another. Because for those of us who have not had the experience of witnessing ourselves as a multidimensional being of light, we have to hold the hands of other people who have to walk bravely in trust and faith into what they consider death. But it's not death, it's life. I promise you, it is life. You have to believe. You have to believe. And at this point, it is really important that you start seeking and searching things like near-death experience, reading the divine matrix, reading information about people's 1111 awakening and ascension paths. More people and twin flames, more people will be talking about this. More information will be coming forth. You will be told and shown by your multidimensional spirit and soul self what you need to seek and what you need to read and what you need to learn at this time. Look, the secret source is love, is to go into your heart and touch your heart with your hands and just say to yourself, I am home. I am home. Just like that Dorothy on The Wizard of Oz. She was always home. She went out into a dream, seeking her home, and then found that she was home already. And this is what we're looking for all our life. We look for home. We look for a place where we can feel secure and loved and safe. And this is where we are already. We're already safe. We're not even here. This is a virtual reality playground. It is a simulation. Read the holographic universe. Listen to people who talk about the simulation and the hologram that we live in. It's science. It's been proven. We are quantum beings of light. So do not fear, but do research, do find out more information, because what you program your mind with, that's what you're inevitably going to believe and be able to follow and be able to carry out in action. Okay, so I was going to talk to you about the reversal. I think I will save that for a separate video because I am in flow, and that means that this is my soul speaking to you, truth from my scroll. To connect to the Christ consciousness, it means I have to go into a deep theta state, and sometimes I fall asleep when I'm doing that. So because it's 3 o'clock in the morning, it's not the best time for me. I will do that in another video. But for now, I'm just going to drop this one here because I think the conscious collective need this at the moment. The collective consciousness needs this. And the awakened community need it. The unawakened community need it. And I just have to leave it here, I was hoping to gradually progress people through my experience by saying, gosh, this is what happened in 2012. This is what happened in 2015. This is what happened in 2016 when I woke up. This is what happened in 2018 when I started talking to God. This is what happened. But I haven't got time. This is what the twin flame experience is about. This is what the simulation is. This is what the 1111. I haven't got time. It's on us. It's upon us. And I have done so many videos at recordings and so many audio recordings, but I don't know whether I'm going to be able to share them. I'm going to have to just come out with what I know now so that I can be a rainbow bridge for people and help people in these times of chaos, confusion and cataclysm come back to the oneness with themselves, each other and the planet, to understand that the planet is ascending to a 5th dimensional vibration. This planet is being reset, and it will be the most beautiful reset. But please understand that all beings need to be evacuated from the planet whilst this reset is happening. I know other spiritual teachers will say other things like, oh no, we've overcome that timeline, blah, 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 blah. But that's fear. That is fear. People are talking like, oh no, do not fear, do not fear. But listen, the ultimate fear is death. And that is here what we are here to ascend, to overcome. And that's why, if you get your ears tickled by people who say, oh, no, we're just going into Jazara and Nazara. No. That's the Luciferian template. They're telling you that they're resetting. This is the global elites that are resetting the planet to put in their new world order template for robots and AI, and then shut down the planet in the next 7 years. God will come back in 7, 8 or 9 years time and do a solar flash. This is where the light beings come back to the earth with a solar flash, kill all the robots because, it's going to be like Terminator, where there's going to be no flesh left unless they come back in and do this. Do a massive cleanup operation of all the dark side. And do you know what will bring that on? Only the Christ consciousness. Yes, that's right. The people that leave this realm go into their higher planet aspect, their higher dimensional body, and work from the other side to bring the light back onto this planet. So do not fear, because there is a plan in place, and that plan has to take place whether we like it or not. It is explained in many prophecies. It is explained in Revelations, but Revelations makes it sound awful. The thing is, if you believe that you are a being of light, multidimensional being of light, if you believe, then you will not perish. If you take the chip, then yes, you're going to experience all these another virtual reality game within a game, and it will be dark. If you don't go into those virtual reality experiences and you stay in the real world, everything will be dying off, because that is the intention for the world. We have had 5 previous extinctions. As I said, the dinosaurs, they're extinct now, right? What would it be like if they were still running around on the earth? God does this occasionally. God isn't a baddie. God is the one collective consciousness of humanity. And what we're trying to do is upgrade and upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. We started off with Pangea, whatever it was. Then we had Atlantis and all of these worlds, and they got transformed. And each time we transform, we go through a new era and we learn new things. And this is a good transformation, because we're not going from light to dark. We're going from dark to light, and it's going to be wonderful. And if you study history before this era, before this 6,000 year era, if you go back in time, you'll see that the times of the pyramids, they had so much more technology and technical information than we have. There's evidence of spacecraft and interdimensional travel. Yes, this exists, and it's always existed. And time is infinite, because there is no time. It's an endless, infinite possibility. And the most important thing is to have hope and love, and be of a high vibration, and sing the praises to God. God is the one consciousness of love. Sing the praises to love. Sing the praises to joy. All your family and friends and everyone else that you love are being set free in Christ. Okay? I love you. I love you. My heart loves you. God loves you. Jesus loves you. Christ loves you. Buddha loves you. All of these deities, Krishna, Kalki, whoever these avatars are that came to tell us that these times are upon us of transformation, they are here. The time of Jonah is here. This is the time of transformation. We are transforming from caterpillars into butterflies. We are transformers. We are transformers, and some of us are avengers. We are literally superheroes that will go into our 5th dimensional or whatever dimensional, 12th dimensional, whatever light bodies, and come back and fight these forces of darkness that keep this planet in lockdown and in quarantine. Not just for this short amount of time that we've been in lockdown physically, but we've been in lockdown for 6,000 years. This has been the age of darkness, and we are coming out of the dark and into the light. I love you. I hope that you understand this. Subscribe, like, add any comments that you want to. Remember to go into your heart space. Always find that information from yourself, from your own soul. Because love, light, and truth is there for everyone, and it is all. Take care.